Crafting a perfect opening scene is extremely difficult, but is also so integral to the success of a film. And this art of being able to latch your viewers into your cinematic experience right off the bat only grows more and more important as technology advances, as film now competes for the eyes of viewers with so many other digital pastimes. And today I want to analyze perhaps the greatest opening sequence of all time, which is of course from Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds. And this opening scene is a truly perfect example of suspense and tension building that, in my opinion, forces the audience to become entrapped in the film. We begin this approximately 20-minute opening scene with a wide shot of a house and some farmland. And this shot is really important because it frames this house as being very small in comparison to the vast land surrounding it, which will help add tension later once Hans Landa is inside. It'll help give an almost claustrophobic feeling to the sequence. And Tarantino takes great advantage of this vast landscape by showing Hans and his Nazi officers slowly approaching the house via the long, windy road. Again, expertly building the tension of the scene because we can tell via the close-ups of the owner of this house that he is very nervous. We also get some great symbolism as he requests water and starts cleansing himself with it. Water, of course, symbolizing salvation and the Holy Spirit according to the Bible. So it's almost as if he is attempting to code himself in Christianity before the Nazis arrive to question him. The dialogue in this scene is also expertly crafted. Everything being said is subtly letting us know that Hans is in control. For example, Hans asking to be invited into this man's home is truly a power play. They both know that this invitation can't be refused. So in essence, he is politely telling this man that he's going to enter his home whether he likes it or not, showing that despite the fact that Hans does not own this home specifically, it is certainly part of his domain. And this opening sequence is also a great example of a director understanding how to pace a film. While the end result of the scene is quite simple, Tarantino makes sure to allow the scene time to build. It is almost as if Hans is playing with his food here. Once Hans is inside the house, he tells the family that the rumors he's heard about them are all true. Then he pauses for a bit, before saying that each daughter is more beautiful than the last. You see, Hans is very confident that this family is hiding something, so he lets that line about the rumors he's heard just sit out there for a bit so he can gauge the room. It's kind of like he's trying to intentionally put them on edge, and I'd say that Hans accomplishes this goal very successfully given that everyone else is standing very awkwardly inside of their own home, while Hans is the only one sitting and acting comfortable. He even has to tell this man to join him at the table despite the fact that it's his home and his table. And once both men are sitting at the table, Tarantino gives us excellent interrogation lighting. You see, in a standard interrogation scene, you typically have one light overhead in the middle of the room that is lighting the entire sequence, and this is exactly the type of lighting we see here. There's only one light overhead and it's illuminating parts of Hans and the homeowner, and everything on the outskirts of the shot is quite dark. It's essentially putting this man under a metaphorical spotlight as Hans begins psychologically toying with him. Once the interrogation is well underway, Hans again almost asks mockingly for this man's permission to switch their language to English, once again establishing that he has true control here, and also ensuring that if anyone is hiding in this house, they won't know what is being said. Though of course, we don't know if anyone is indeed hiding yet, so this might subtly go under the radar upon first watch. And I have always loved the moment when the homeowner asks if he can get his pipe, because A, it shows that Hans has established that he's in control and permission needs to be asked, and B, when the homeowner gets up to get his pipe, Hans doesn't even turn to look at him. Hans keeps looking down at his papers, telling us that he doesn't even view this man as a threat. Even with him standing behind Hans's back, Hans knows goddamn well that he ain't gonna do shit. This is what true confidence looks like. Shortly after the man's pipe has been retrieved, we get, in my opinion, the best line in the entire film. Hans tells this man, "I love rumors. Facts could be so misleading, where rumors, true or false, are often revealing." Essentially, he is asking this man for his thoughts on what happened to the Jewish farmers, because he is going to read the man's body language and not judge what he is saying, rather how he is saying it. Hans is psychologically picking this man apart and breaking him down. And as this man tells Hans about the rumor he heard of these Jewish farmers having escaped into Spain, the entire time the camera is only on the man. We don't see Hans at all while this rumor is told to us. Almost as if Tarantino was putting us into the perspective of Hans, as these shots of the homeowner encourage us to analyze and pick apart all of his movements and just how nervous he looks. We even zoom in on him at one point, and this is all to let us infer that Hans is picking up on every little detail. This rumor has certainly revealed quite a bit here. And something that often goes overlooked in this scene is that only once we're over 10 minutes into the opening sequence do we as an audience get confirmation that this man is hiding people. Like, it was probably a safe assumption on our parts to assume he was, but the fact that we don't know for sure adds even more tension and mystery. And by revealing this only halfway through the interrogation, it ensures that we'll be on the edge of our seats for the second half, because now Tarantino has humanized exactly what's at stake. And trust me, the symbolism of them being underneath Hans Landa's feet is certainly not lost on me. Also, the fact that it takes so long to get this confirmation again puts us in the perspective of Hans, as we too were trying to analyze the situation and determine if this man was hiding something. Now, at the 15-minute mark or so, Hans essentially lays down the law. He says that if there's anyone hiding in this house, they will be found via his men searching it thoroughly, and this is where Hans breaks him. He finally, after 15 minutes of tension building, emphatically accuses this man of hiding enemies of the state, and the homeowner just can't take it anymore. He breaks and admits to hiding people in his house. And the symbolism of water comes back into play here as the homeowner starts shedding tears, symbolically showing that he's come clean and accepted the twisted salvation of Nazi Germany. And just to put a bow on this absolute masterclass of an opening sequence, Tarantino has one of the people who are hiding escape and make a run for it. And Hans is almost giddy watching them escape. You can tell he truly enjoys the hunt, and as this individual runs further and further from the house, Hans gets a disturbing smile, almost as if he's happy that the hunt will continue. He is a cunning, dark, and twisted man, and this opening scene told us absolutely everything we needed to know about him. Well, if you made it this far, please let me know what movie opening or just scene in general would you like to see me break down next. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to drop a like or subscribe for more Screen Stories content. Until next time, peace.